Okay. This morning I'm going to talk to you about blessings. I know in this difficult time, when we've had so many things that have abridged our social being together, and all the things that we had joined aren't meeting anymore, it's hard to look at the world and see it as a blessing when the trees are all broken off. It's easy to concentrate on those things. The abridges we've had to our social life make you sad and unhappy and grumpy. The derecho hurt many people here, and people are still trying to recover from that. But you know, there once was a guy that was riding a horse. And the guy that was walking thought, gee, if I only had a horse, I could be happy. Then the guy walking met another person that had no shoes, and the guy said, well, if I had shoes, I'd be happy. Then the guy met another guy that had no feet, and that guy said, well, hi, stranger. You've been a blessing to me today because you talked to me. So no matter what our problems are, we can look at something and see the blessings in it. Now, you know, I had a daughter, Sarah, and many of you have heard this story. Well, I almost lost that child, and I didn't want to lose the child. And so the doctor gave me some medicine, so I didn't. But I carried her crossways, and her head was bent like this, and she would stretch herself out and stretch herself out, and it really affected her, the left side of her head, because it cut off the blood supply, and she didn't have a well-developed left side of her head. And then, of course, she was born 2 feet first and delivered her head and her arm and had a parietal concussion here. So one side of her was floppy and the other side was tight. And I tell you, that looked like a horrible, horrible thing to me. What a problem that was going to be for us. They said I'd be pushing her through life in a wheelchair, that she had never talked because the left side of her brain wasn't developed well, that there would be no success in her life for her. And I thought, what have we done? What have we done? But we pulled ourselves together and worked with that child. We worked and did therapy and did water therapy. And well, at 4, she learned to read. It took her a while to walk. She was 14 months when she started walking, and her limp leg would let her down once in a while, but we kept working with her, and then she was old enough to get in the water, and I taught her how to swim, you know, and to exercise her muscles that way. And she said she learned by jumping up and down on the couch watching the electric company in Sesame Street. And we were at J. Bergman's Auto Company. It was right next to the library, and I don't know where we're getting that from. Oh, okay, I'll go over here. And the library was right next to it, and my son, who was 5 years older, went to the library, and she said, Mom, they've got antifreeze on sale for $1.50. And I said, where did you see that? She said, on that store. I said, well, where does it say that? She says, antifreeze, $1.50. And I thought, well, I was never able to read to her. She didn't want me to hold her and read to her. So I thought, how did she learn to read, you know? And that changed all my thinking about how I worked with kids as a speech pathologist. And studying her and how she developed helped me understand how to reassure some parents about their children and to diagnose certain kids that would help their parents understand what was going on with their child. So that horrible thing turned into blessings for many people. And it was a blessing that God gave me so I could help others. She's perfectly fine. She graduated summa cum laude with her bachelor's degree, was in all kinds of music and acting things in high school. There was no problem with her at all. And another example is I was living with my daughter. I spent 3 years trying to help her when she was getting her master's degree. She had her third child, a little girl. She had 2 boys before that. And she was getting her master's degree, and it was just too much with the baby and all the things she was doing. So I went with her, and then she moved to California. Well, I sold everything I had. We were in South Dakota at the time. I sold all my winter clothes, and I sold everything we had, furniture and all of that, and moved to California with 1 carload in myself. Well, I was out there for a year. They used my car for some things. I got the kids up, dressed, bathed, dressed, ready for school, took them to school, went and got them from school. I paid the water bill, 1/3 of the rent. I did all the laundry, cooked for the kids, taught the kids. My little granddaughter was my total care for 3 years. She thought I was the best thing on earth, you know. And my daughter said, "We don't need you anymore, you need to go." Well, how was I going to tell that little girl that I was going to leave? I told her I was going to go, and she said, "Well, Grandma, will you drive slow?" I said, "Sure." "Then I go with you." I said, "No, you have to stay with your mama." But I did leave, and I came back here. I had 2 bleeding ulcers out there. My blood count got down to 4.9. I should have died. I got back here, it was about 7. I don't remember coming back here. I don't know, God just brought me from California to Iowa. Well, that was a hard thing for me. But you know, when I got back here, friends had me of an apartment already. I spent 1 night in a motel, and then I was in my apartment. And I had furniture and everything, and dishes and all. Now look at that. What a blessing it was to have come back here and be where my friends were. What a wonderful thing. I was just overjoyed with it. So it's a blessing that I've been here. And I'm the happiest. I met my husband here. It was just the best thing that happened to me was to leave California, although I hated to do it. Let me check my notes 1 minute here. Well, I want to know if you have blessings. Do you have things that have done that to you? Or things that you are blessed with today in this difficult world? I want to read you just a few things that I have. My blessings are my health, the good doctors that helped me have good health, my family, my friends, my clothing, my water, my soap, my food, my bed, my pillows, electricity, chairs, stove, refrigerator, table, eyes to see, computer tablets, TV, phone, cell phone, ears to hear, mouth to eat, and safety, and get car, and gasoline. There are people that don't have those or those abilities. There are people who are blind, but we can see. There are people who can't hear, but we can hear. Isn't that a blessing for us? There are people that don't have enough to eat, but we do. Does anybody here not have enough to eat? Hold up your hand if you're hungry, if you need something to eat. No, see, we're all well fed. You can tell that. And do you all have a house to live in? There are people that don't. Now, we take those things for granted, but they're not. We shouldn't. Every day we should thank God for the blessings we have, the ability to see and hear and eat and drive our car and get gas for it. And all the things that come, the roads we drive on, the lights in town, the stained glass windows. There are so many things that we can have our blessings for that I think we miss a lot by complaining about the things we don't have. So if you're like the guy walking and wanted the horse, be thankful for your feet. I took the blessing, and I think I have a reason why these blessings are what they are. Let me see here. B is for the baby, born in Bethlehem. L is for the love he has for us unending. E is for his extraordinary power in this world. S is for the Son of God. S is for the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. I is for God's invincibility. N is for there's nothing he can't do. G is for God himself. So when you have blessings, all these things are for you. God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, all of those things, the invincible power of God is for you. We should be very happy about that. Now, I ask you if you had any blessings, and nobody raised their hand for a blessing. I think you should raise your hand and say a blessing. What have you been blessed with? Anybody want to jump right up there and say? Nobody has any blessings? Come on, Lori, you have blessings, don't you?
I have one.
Okay.
My wife of 44 years.
Yes, good. Yeah.
It's a rough time, but overall it's been a blessing.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, we don't often say that about our partner in life, but they are a blessing to us. Anybody else? Thank you, Jim. Okay. Uh-huh.
I've got 3 sons, 3 daughter-in-laws, 9 grandchildren, 9 great-grandchildren, and I've got 1 great-grandchild coming in February.
Oh, good. That certainly is a blessing. Anybody else have a blessing?
Family.
Family, your family. Yes. I don't know what we'd do without family. I don't have any family here, but I have enough friends that are like my sisters and brothers here.
Carol,
Mm-hmm.
like you, we've been blessed with the support of the things of the community through your church and through our lives, and it's how we've made our living, and we appreciate everybody that has helped us to do that.
Very good. Nobody else has a blessing in their life?
Carol, blessed. Go ahead. Your story reminded me of my story, and you all heard my story, but I have said many times I wouldn't be in ministry if it weren't for the illnesses of my children and the death of my son. I don't think I would be here.
Uh-huh.
So that's been a blessing from all of those.
Yes, that's true. Sometimes we have to look at that hurt and live beyond it. to see the blessing in it. That's right. Anybody else?
We're blessed to have God our Father and our Lord Jesus. Thank Him every day for what we have.
That's true. Where would we be without that? Okay.
We're blessed our son got out of the hospital, lung transplant.
Uh-huh.
Everything's going wonderful.
Yes, very good. And thanks for the people that donated those lungs, and for the doctors that helped him too. Okay. Troy?
I think we're blessed to have the freedoms we have here in our country. Not all countries are free, and we shouldn't take it for granted. And we're probably the last country to have real freedom. For that, I'm grateful.
Yes. Our freedom. We don't think about that often, but you can go wherever you want, go to what church you want. You don't have to worry about your safety in this community. Maybe in others, see, but I mean, yes, but not in this community. Carolyn?
I'm very blessed to have family and friends that always make you feel wanted and needed, and I really enjoy the fellowship with my family and friends.
Okay, thank you. That's very good. Anybody else? Well, know that you are blessed by God, that you are special in His eyes, because He watches the sparrows, and He's surely going to watch you. So He will be with you whenever you need Him. All you have to do is ask. In God's name, thank you.